the Black Therapy Show. We're going live on TikTok. We're going live on YouTube. We're going live wherever the hell we want to go live. We are, we are live. We're going to show some videos and we're going to jump right into the topic. The topic is Kanye is not crazy. I know he's been beat to death as far as talks go over the past couple of weeks, but we're going to add a little more. And also, we're going to talk about kids being too soft today. They're just too soft. So here we go.
And these kids these days got diseases I ain't never even fucking heard of. I'm bipolar. That means I have two personalities. You could have never told our mothers no shit like that. Mama, I'm bipolar. I got two personalities. Well, both you motherfuckers go in there and clean that goddamn room. And it better not take that long since it's two of you, goddammit. I'm schizophrenic. I hear voices. That's me, motherfucker. Clean that goddamn room. These kids are fucking soft. Leave them in the car in the summer and they die. What type of shit is that? We got left in the car in the summer and we didn't die. Because we had sense enough to get out the fucking car. It's hot, we're in the car, we gonna die? Not me, I'm getting out the car. Mama said don't get out, well I take the whooping, but I'm getting out the fucking car. She can't catch me, I got two personalities, fuck that shit. Kids gotta ride a bike with a helmet on. We never rode no bike with no goddamn helmet. If you fell and hit your head, you just hit your goddamn head. Stagger to the house with a lump on your head. Your mother got mad at you, you done hit your goddamn head. Lay down and take a nap. Now I got to wake you up every 20 minutes to make sure you don't slide into no coma. Now lay down there, wake up. Lay down there, wake up. This how it's going all night, you little fucker. Kids got baby food. We ain't had no fucking baby food. Just the shit your mama chewed up and gave your ass. Remember that? Open your mouth. I don't want this pork chop after you done sucked all the juice out of it. I'm too young for high blood pressure. This is some bullshit. You know how it was. When kids get a teething these days, their mother and father give them teething rings and Ambisol. We was growing up and you was teething, your mother would actually rub whiskey on your gums. Remember that shit? Can you feel your teeth? I can't even feel my face. This is some bullshit. Because liquor was the answer for everything. Remember that? You got a cold, you got a hot toddy. This much liquor, this much tea. You drift right the fuck off. Oh my God. By the time you wake up, you ain't had no cold no more. I feel better, but it's Christmas again. Jesus Christ. You had to grow up early when we was growing up because your parents would send you to the store to buy shit you was too young to buy. Remember that? I want you to go to the store, get me a fifth of gin and a pack of cigarettes. Mama, I'm two. They ain't gonna let me have that shit. Here, take this note. And they would give it to you. You'd be a little boy walking down the street with liquor and cigarettes. And your neighbors be going, that's a good little boy right there. How come you can't be like him? Parents are very protective over their children these days. When we was growing up, our parents didn't believe in that shit. They believed experience was the best teacher. That was it. Remember that? Like I done told you, little ass, that stove was hot. But you don't believe no goddamn body. So go ahead, touch it, touch it! That's why all black people got a burn mark on their arm or their leg or their fucking foot. Black people learn how to say hot before we learn how to say mom and daddy. Hot, 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 hot. Woo, the baby talking so good now.
We are raising a generation of soft kids.
Why do I think people are so soft today? I mean, I think TV and culture makes people really soft, man. There's a lot of soft people, man. Like the gladiator days are over, man. The days where people just said what they felt and didn't feel the need to tiptoe around people and, well, I can't say this and I can't say that. I'm not saying to be rude, but you can always communicate what it is that you want to communicate in a very respectful way. But today's people are just soft, man. Kids are soft, immediate gratification. I want it now, and why don't I have it now? And I've worked hard for 6 months, and why don't I have my Lamborghini and my Rolls Royce and, you know, and a private jet? Oh, I want that too, and why don't I have that? Well, but I've worked hard for 8 months now. I mean, dude, I've been grinding for 26 years. I've been grinding, like literally. I was selling cars when I was 18 years old. Like I was grinding every day.
All right, kids are soft. Now we're gonna do a little bit. I just want to touch on Kanye just for a little bit on this show.
I want to talk about the Jewish comment. It's actually proving the exact point that I made. so many actors been bullied behind the scenes. So you even got people like Ari Emanuel asking people to not do business with me. That's how this town has been running for so long. They'll mute you. They'll try to mute you at all costs.
What have you got to say to people that are trying to cancel you?
You can't cancel him.
I'm here. What are we talking about? We here. We ain't going nowhere, baby.
Kanye 2024.
And if I ever, if I ever went anywhere, we know why.
They try to cancel Kanye.
As a gay Jew, it's not just Kanye's remarks that are upsetting to me. It's that he represents all of the people in this world who have anti-Semitic feelings toward us. I was raised in the 1970s in Oak Park, Michigan, which was Black, Jewish, and Chaldean, which are Christian Arabs. We all got along. The diversity was normalized. We had, during holiday seasons, menorahs and Christmas trees represented. It wasn't until I went to college that I was considered somebody's token Jewish friend, which I'd never experienced before or been called. And I went to rent somewhere in my 20s, and I had a ring that had a Jewish star on it, and the landlord didn't see it, but he said, we don't rent to Jews, and he didn't like Jews. And I remember turning my ring around. I'm very ashamed of doing that. I did not get the place, thankfully. But I remember thinking, wow, this is the closest I've ever been, and still is, even at almost 60 years old, of somebody overtly anti-Semitic. But they're there. Kanye's overt about it, but what about those who aren't? The world is scary. We should be aware.
Okay, he says Kanye is overt with his.
You know, we don't have a jacuzzi.
Can you believe that? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi?
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye, chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye.
She doesn't have a jacuzzi. Okay, folks, here we go. Yeah.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the black therapy. You be in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know, with Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We be giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversations, so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiary, we built all your schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from a God above. No, it's called Kevin and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? We got people on TikTok. We got people on YouTube. We got people on Twitter. We got people on Twitch. We got people on Facebook. I'm about to jump off Facebook because they just, I mean, you can't say anything on Facebook now, man. We finish the show and then see that this show could not be shown because of blah, blah, blah. It's like, Mr. Zuckerberg, just give us a break, man.
Okay, so we would say this is for educational purposes. We are just having the conversation. All of this is alleged, how we feel. This is no disrespect to any culture, any background. We're just having a conversation. And welcome everybody to our show.
Right. Kev, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm a little tired. It's been a long weekend. I'm back.
Yeah, you working.
You we keep the traveling man?
I am the traveling. I'm Brown's hardest working man in show.
Yes, you are. Shout out to you, babes.
Yeah. I want to thank everyone for jumping on. If you're on TikTok, thank you for jumping on. And I have not quite figured out yet how to manipulate this whole TikTok thing. I guess you can say I'm a boomer, so I'm trying to figure out how to work TikTok. But this is the Black Therapy Show, and the show is about helping Black people and moving Black people forward. We're not here to call Black women hoes and bitches. We're not here to say Black men and shit. We're just here to help each other. We're not here to put anybody down. We're not here to talk about anyone. It's all about just moving people forward. If you have any ideas of how to move Black people forward, please feel free. If you can't jump in on TikTok, please go to YouTube and check out the Black Therapy Show. We're live there right now. You can jump on there and make comments. Any suggestions you have? Like I always say, if you work in an office and you're being discriminated against, please let us know what's going on and how you're handling it, and share your experience and share how you got around it. If you're into entertainment, wherever you are and you're black, we know you're dealing with some stuff. So just share your knowledge and let's all help each other make it through this world, because every day we get up is a battle.
Yes.
It sounds crazy to people to believe that every day you're battling racism, but it's every single day, every day, all day, 24/7.
Right.
Even in your house, you have to battle it, whether it's on TV or radio. Charlene Ford is checking in. She says, "Hi, Carl. You remember me?" Yes, Charlene, I remember you. We talk occasionally on on uh, on Facebook Messenger. I remember Charlene. Charlene and I met? I think it had to do something to do with race, and I think I said something to Charlene, and she thought I was like a radical black, you know,
She's not
radical. Huh?
She thinks you're radical. She don't think I'm Malcolm X.
Okay, and I'm radical XXX.
So Charlene had a black friend, which was Michelle Henson, right? Charlene, I'm telling the story right. So Charlene called her friend Michelle, who's black, to kind of get between her and I. And yes, Michelle Henson. And so Michelle and I became friends, and then Charlene and I became friends. So that's how we met. We met on Facebook because something, I forgot who said something, but anything to do with race, I'm there. I'm ready, ready to go. So yeah, so let's jump into it. So we're talking today about Kanye, and I just want to deal with this, not too much. I mean, when I see people saying that he's anti-Semitic, I'm not even sure what that means. I'll be honest. I mean, I tried to look
I got the meaning of it.
Please look it up and share what does anti-Semitic mean. I think, Charlene, are you Jewish? If you're Jewish, Charlene, please share.
Or anybody that's watching.
Yeah, anybody.
So what I got is anti-Semitic, a person who is hostile to or prejudiced against Jewish people. And in parentheses, it says he was not just a bigot, but also an anti-Semite. This is what I Googled. And I Googled what was the meaning since we was having this show. I know that me as a black woman and being raised by a black mother and father, we was never told or raised to hate anybody. Especially Jew wasn't on the list to hate. Do you understand? Like, we never was raised. That wasn't a thing saying hate this, hate this. We was just in survival mode all our life, just as black people. So I don't understand the anti, know.
I mean, honestly, when you get into an argument with someone, the first thing you do is you go after them personally. You go, like if you get to, how many arguments I got into and people go, "You skinny son of a," and they just, they go after you personally,
right?
But it's not that they don't. But this is America. I know this is kind of hard because in America, it's so different. Like you say anything to any person from a specialty group, and you automatically hate that group. But I don't think that's right. I don't think you hate that group. You might lash out because they make you angry. But does that mean you hate the entire group?
No, but how us as black people that are oppressed people for almost 400 years, how can we have hate for another group like that? We don't. We don't have time for that. Like,
and we don't have a history of going after people. You know what I mean? Going. Where has there ever been a group of black people that went and beat up Jews or beat up anybody?
No.
We don't have that history, but people have that history against us. So if you're going to say Kanye's anti-Semitic, and maybe some of the things he said, maybe it hurts some feelings, but does that mean he's anti-Semitic and he hates all Jews? I think they just take it really overboard. You know what I mean, with the whole hate thing. I think sometimes we as black people do it too, when we claim someone's racist,
right,
because of one thing they did. They could have an entire life of helping the black community. Then they say one thing, and now they're done. We're done with them. You just say
Right.
it, and you're done. You know.
But you know the media, the media is a lot. The media will add on, put on, and it's just a lot. What do you think, Kev?
It's just because it's different in the process, like they call. Well, Kanye West in last couple of years actually said more negative things about African Americans than he has against Jewish people, right?
Yes.
You know, we're being fair.
In your eyes, yeah.
And you know, I mean, well, we saw Kanye West in the Oval Office, you know, hugging on Trump, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, Trump is a white supremacist. In my eyes, he's a white supremacist.
Yes.
And white supremacist, what do you call it? Cheerleader. You know, he's brought out all these white supremacists, the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, all these people that we now know about. We didn't know about 5 or 6 years ago. All these groups, you know, Trump brought in what's the guy, Steve Bannon, you know, brought him into the White House, and he's a white supremacist, and he worked in the Oval Office. I mean, you know, one door down from the Oval Office, right? So he this into the mainstream in our time, right? So, you know, Kanye West to me still has some explaining to do to us, people,
right?
You know, to black people, has some explaining to do. I just can't forgive that quickly, and don't want to see him on this downward spiral. I don't enjoy watching him lose.
Right.
Dollars. I'm not enjoying watching him burn, and there are people who are, right. So I'm not enjoying this so-called. I mean, I don't think any guy who's worth $400 million has to worry about anything, because right now, you know, even though he's lost all these endorsements, he still has a net worth around $400 million, right? So I think he's going to be okay. But still, there's something happening, you know, and everybody's saying this. The whole thing is, how come he didn't lose these endorsements before it got to the Jewish? You know, how come he didn't lose? How come he didn't get dropped by Adidas 2 years ago?
Right.
George Floyd died from fentanyl. He said,
how come he didn't get? How come he didn't get canceled?
Well, we all know the answer. I mean, like, the answer to that is simple, right? Go ahead, Tiffany.
No. You said they pick and choose what they want to.
You know, because basically, black people have no power, right? They know, they can see it. Everyone can see we have no power. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and you know, I drive into New York City a lot, and when it's a Jewish holiday, the roads are pretty much empty, right? So we were like, wow, that shows you how much, right? How much business. And it wasn't a put down, like, you know, like a bad thing. We were just saying, like, when the Jews have a holiday, so many businesses are closed. It's like a holiday. You can, you know, like Yom Kippur and all the Jewish holidays. When those holidays come around, the roads are literally clear because there's so many people that have to stay home.
Right.
You know, like I said, but we weren't saying it as a bad thing. We were just saying that's how much influence they have. You know.
Hey, Carl, do you really believe we don't have power? You believe that if every NFL player said we're not walking on the football field unless Kaepernick get his job back?
Yeah,
he got his job back.
You're right. I should rephrase that. We have power, you just don't use it.
They just don't use it, and some of them is good where they at. They comfortable where they at. They're not gonna interrupt their thing, and I think that's what's going on. He's interrupting the matrix. He's talking about stuff that they feel like, shh. I listened to at least 3, you know, people that's of Jewish descent, and they kept stressing that when you talk about Jews or you say that, you know, your Jew lawyer or your Jew this didn't do what they supposed to do with your business, they feel like you're talking out against them and you have such a large platform. They are in fear of being hurt. That's what they kept saying. We don't want people to try to hurt us because of what you're saying. So I bet you said if it was, oh, the man is taking my money, they will feel better with that. But because he's saying the Jew, which is his lawyer, his manager, whoever was surrounding him, and he said they will go to the side and talk about him and his business, and then he'll turn around and money is missing. This is what he is saying. This is all alleged. So he just saying he don't have nothing against just a whole what's going. He talking about who deals with his money, who deals with his business, who deals with that. That's his personal beef.
Right. I mean, I just don't think he's a hateful person. I mean, but I'm sure
We're not. We're not hateful people. Black people are not hateful like that.
Right. And like Kevin said, we do have power, but we just don't use it. We're afraid that they're gonna. I mean, who wants to lose their millions? You know what I mean? Who's gonna give up their millions for a people? I mean, Muhammad Ali did it, right? Muhammad Ali did it.
And they called him one. They called Martin Luther King one. They called anybody that was so. I never even knew what it was. I was like, what is that? Why do they keep saying that? I didn't get it because we like I said, we wasn't raised like that. We already are oppressed people. We don't got time to be hating on other cultures and other backgrounds. But because he has such a large platform in this world, they feel like he can be able, they don't want to be hurt. And I can understand that nobody wants to be hurt, you know, but you know, that's his truth through his eyes.
Here's what I have to say, I admire the way Jews react to anti-Semitism or anything they deem negative against the Jews. They stomp it out. They just jump on it and stomp it out. And you know what I mean? They let you know immediately you will not talk about the Jews like that. But black people, we don't seem to do the same thing.
We should take the same lesson.
That's
what I express. Take the same lesson.
Well, you know, we make excuses and we still support them. People are still buying his music. People still listen to R. Kelly and you know, people still support Bill Cosby. You know, I'm guilty of both of the things I just said, by the way, you know. So where do we draw the line? I still listen to R. Kelly and he's a convicted rapist. I still love Bill Cosby.
And I think like when people disrespect black people, all the black people don't come together. Like how all the Jews came out and say, fuck this guy, right? I mean, you had people who had nothing to do with Adidas, right? You had businesses who had nothing to do with Adidas, nothing to do with sneakers, nothing to even do with shoes. Period. Other businesses told Adidas, don't do business with Kanye. You had actresses, like you saw in the video. You had actresses, singers, people who own delis. All the Jews came out and said, no, you will not do this and get away. But I'm saying we don't do that. We don't come together. Like the guy that went into that church and shot those black people, and then they were like, we forgive you. Like,
yeah, that's an anti-black crime.
Right. And they forgive him. Like, that would never happen.
And here's the deal, Carl. Think about Dylan Roof for a minute.
Yeah.
They had to shut down Dylan Roof's PayPal because he was receiving so many donations
for killing black people in a church.
Black people, I'm sure it was white people, right? But that just goes to show where we at in America as a people. Yeah, this guy went into a church, murdered 9 black people, and then he was receiving so much money into his PayPal, they had to shut it down.
Are we too nice? Are we too kind as a people, as black people? Do we need to like?
Yes, we were taught to turn the other cheek. That's what we was taught and raised in the Bible. Turn the other cheek, overlook certain stuff. And the ones that talk too much or start telling the truth, they try to push you out or get rid of you or silence you.
Do you believe he's being silenced? I mean, for that reason, or?
Who?
I don't think that he's being silenced because he's communicating, he's talking, he's doing his own little thing, you know. Certain platforms, like you said, Elon Musk just what's called, he's going to get his account back, and I heard Trump is about to get his account back. They gave him back his account on Instagram, you know, and if you look at it, he's saying some stuff up there, some real stuff, and he's telling people, get your own businesses, you have land, you know, build on your own, believe in yourself. This is what people need to hear.
I mean, did you guys see the interview with the guy? I forgot his name. I forgot to pull the video, but record executive, and they asked him. He was on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking. He was talking about the opioid, how it's devastating the white people, and blah blah blah. And somehow they were asking him how come he doesn't back away from hip hop artists who say disparaging things about black people, you know. And he said he chooses money over or he chooses talent over people's feelings or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? But he's Jewish, but would he allow people to say anything about Jewish people and be on his label? No.
You can't do that. You can't talk about the oppressor when not saying the oppressor, but talk about somebody that is paying the bills or that is your boss, and then go on the platform and try to go against them. They feel like we're giving you a platform, we're giving you an opportunity. It's up to us to build off that opportunity. And like I tell a lot of people, I think that what Kanye did was he wanted to come out those contracts to have freedom. You know, because I believe that most of those contracts that a lot of our artists sign in rap in small print, I really think they tell them they can't help their community, or they can't do certain things, or they can't go out and do this. I think they're really restricted. So now that he don't have no locks on him or something, let's see what he'll do now.
So Michael, what's up, Michael? Michael Barnes checking in on YouTube. He says over 200,000 letters went out to so-called Jews who send letters to Adidas. 200,000 letters. We can never get that kind of camaraderie from black people.
No,
yeah.
Can't get black people to get together for 16 weeks or something.
Yeah, but that's letting you know all of this is a message. You see all these things is going on. We are learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about people, places, and things through this whole situation.
So, I mean, if you look at the reality of it, can you really blame? Doesn't a lot of the blame fall on us? For some reason, we're just so afraid to rock the boat. You know, even black people with billions are afraid to rock the boat. Yeah. Remember Damon John, the guy from Shark Tank, that's worth over 400.
Yeah, that's for both, for us, by us.
Right. He sent out a tweet when DMX died, and Louis Farrakhan sent out a tweet, and he liked it and commented, said it was a nice tweet because Farrakhan spoke at DMX's funeral, and people went after him for liking the tweet from Farrakhan, and he deleted it and apologized. This black man is worth $400 million, and he's apologizing and deleting tweets because he liked the tweet by Louis Farrakhan.
Because he don't want to be worth 100. How much he's worth? 400?
400 million. But he said nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, right? Kanye West on paper was a billionaire, and they just 72 hours. He's no longer a billionaire. So
I mean, Adidas admitted that they lost 236 million by dropping Kanye.
All right, bye.
You know, and they just
and look
about the $5 loss on the freaking Powerball.
Okay. You heard if you saw what Russell Simmons said. Russell Simmons said he was, he had the first contract with my Adidas. You understand? He did the first marketing contract with them, and he said they had to move on from Adidas because it was certain things, the politics, and they wound up doing their own sneaker and selling $400 million in their own sneakers.
And that's another thing. Why with all that money? Why does Kanye need Adidas? I mean, I'm not on the inside, but why does he need Adidas? For what? Why?
You heard of you have to go in to learn what you need to learn, and then you build off of that. And I think that's what he did. He went in and he learned a lot, and he see that it's politics and everything. What we said, underlining racism, they didn't let him get too far. He didn't even make the prices for his sneakers. They make the prices for the sneakers. You know, so he let you know. If you look at the Breakfast Club, he talked about a lot of that stuff. It's just that we don't look at the stuff he be talking about. But it's a game in that. It's a game in the fashion industry too.
Yeah.
So he can produce his own there. He's a brand.
I mean, but we do have to admit, I mean, this is not anti-Semitic.
This is not what?
What I'm going to say is not anti-Semitic. It is what it is. And when Chinese people, if you go to Chinatown to open a business, all the Chinese people will work together and keep you out if you're not Chinese, right? That they would do it. If you go to a town where it's mostly Indians, all the Indians from India, they will work together, you know what I mean? And they'll keep you out. That's why all the gas stations are owned by.
How about you won't be allowed in, period?
Right,
What you mean work it in? You're not going in.
Right. So if you get a lot of Jews in a certain area, all the Jews are going to work together, right, and keep everybody else out. You know, so I think that's what people, Kanye West is saying. That's what other people are saying. A lot of the Jews are in Hollywood. There was a Jewish guy on TikTok saying the same thing. He said, most of the media and Hollywood and TV are run by Jews. He said, Kanye didn't say any. There's nothing anti-Semitic about that.
He just didn't supposed to say it. They feel like he didn't supposed to say it in front of everybody and have an attitude with it because now everybody's going to be mad at them.
Right.
So let's name some high-profile executive producers in Hollywood. Anybody know any?
High-profile.
Let's go back to the 80s. Norman Lear, is he Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Harvey Weinstein has done hundreds of movies. Is he Jewish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Goldman. What's his name? Goldman. He was on
Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? All the big guys.
Right. Yeah. Who's the guy that did all the rape? That raped all the people found dead in the cell. What's his name?
Oh, he wasn't Weinstein. He was something Stein.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go in the music industry. Right?
Tommy Natola. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy that got Whitney Houston. I forgot his name. Yeah, I mean, so there's truth to it. So I don't understand how it's.
They all most of all the record companies, the record labels.
Yeah, I noticed all that show. Yes, I noticed.
You know, Michael Burns said we are the largest of all Holocausts right here in America. That is true. You know what I mean? But you know, Charlene Ford said, and Charlene is Jewish, and Charlene and I are pretty good friends, very good friends. We talk each other. Well, have you spoken on the phone? But we message each other a lot on Facebook Messenger. She says the Anti-Defamation League was started by Jews. The NAACP was, I believe, modeled after it. I don't know if that's true.
No, I wouldn't be surprised because a lot of the CP, I'm saying I don't want to mess it up. A lot of them, you know, they did start out and help. And like I said, don't get it twisted. I don't have nothing against because my sister done been in situations with the schooling and they helped my sister out with my son. We wasn't raised like that. Like we wasn't raised say, oh, we don't like doing it. And I don't think Kanye, I don't think it was a hateful type of thing. I think it was talking about his situation, how the media is treating him, how his management and all of that. And I think that's what he was more talking about.
Michael Jackson said the same thing back in the day. Remember that? Michael Jackson said there was a recording. I don't know if you heard it, Ken. A recording of Michael Jackson talking about the Jews, how they're taking all his money, and you know what I mean, and how so.
But this is all what they said through their experience, know, and everybody should have a right to feel how they feel or express. And if that's the case too, I feel like if you talk about a black person or disrespect us, even when you sit there and loud and call us all different type of names, we should have a problem with that. We should not support us talking about each other and doing down and each other.
But we don't, and we don't like. I have a Jewish friend, and he said they have a saying, "Never again." The Jew, all the Jews say never
Yes.
again, right? Whenever
Yes.
there's anything anti-Semitic peeks his head out, they're gonna stomp all over it.
Right. Right.
But we black, we don't do that. We forgive, and you know what I mean? Like we forgive a guy that went into a church to kill black people and killed black people. We not we well they forgave
Yeah,
him.
I was about to say I didn't forgive. I don't even.
The guy, the white woman, that officer that went into that apartment and shot that black guy sitting on his couch. His brother hugged her.
Right.
Right? He hugged her. You know, so
Right.
there's the whole Willie Lynch letter thing. You once you get a hold of someone's brain, you once you get mind control
Mm-hmm.
of people, you got them.
And you gotta know it is a difference. It is a difference between the Jew community, the Jewish community, and the white community. Because you have a lot of white community that do not like the Jews. You understand? Or they be always trying to hurt them and stuff. Just like that's what I'm saying. We cannot, us as black people, y'all getting on Kanye like this. We are not. We being persecuted, they get persecuted too. Because what you call them Aryan nations and all of them, and like you said, all those Proud Boys and all of that, they don't like them either. And it's horrible. Them white supremacist groups are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean
they are ridiculous. That hate is so horrible.
They jump on what Kanye said.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they jumped on what Kanye said, and they were like, Kanye was right, but they don't like black people either. So I don't know if they're trying to get us to work. You know what I mean? Like you said. Charlene said 6 million people were killed by Nazis while regular people looked away. True. I mean,
it's horrible. It's horrible what happened, and it's so sad because just like us 6 million people, we was persecuted and killed and hurt also. So we should be able to understand each other and have empathy and sympathy for each other.
Yeah. Okay. What's up? Highly favored. I'm sorry. I was highly favored. Just jumped on YouTube. She says we need to support and fund the black farmers to have our own grocery stores. Absolutely.
That should be a step.
We know what we have to do, but why aren't we doing it? What's stopping us? We have the money, like Kevin said. We have the money. We have the power, but it's almost like that electric fence that's no longer electrified, but we're scared to touch it.
Yeah, well, y'all need to come over here and come see me because I have a couple of ideas that I know that can help the community.
So, as Charlene said, DEFCON 3. I know what does DEFCON 3 mean? What does that mean?
So what I heard was it was something dealing with when a shuttle go off or they're about to do a bomb. It means I'm about to go off.
I'm about to go nuclear on it.
Yeah, I'm about to go off.
Right.
On you. You understand? It's like a slow.
I don't think it meant physical harm, but what people are saying is that other people might interpret it as physical harm and try to harm,
Right. No, it was like, how I'm about to go off on you. You know how when you be rapping and you battling, right. Or even when you doing your comedy, I'm about to do my comedy on you. You understand? I'm about to go off. It wasn't, you remember the media, what we see, and a lot of people don't see what we see in film. Because I didn't even know what it was, period. Until I had one of my friends explained it to me. I was like, that's nothing. Just like the spasm. I didn't know spasm was from when people had cerebral palsy and they start spazzing. I didn't know that. I heard it in the street. People use it as a slang. Right. So, but now we're learning a lot. With different words, you got to be careful with certain words. You can't say midget. I'm not being rude to anybody. You can't say midget. You have to say little person. You can't say dyke or bulldog. You have to say aggressive or a gay person. You understand? You can't say the F word. You have to be very careful. You can't say retarded. You say special needs. Right. So these are the things that you have to be on point with and don't offend people.
All right, we're going to wrap up the Kanye thing, but Charlene said, I'm all for understanding, but words have consequences. Very true. Very true. But what happened to forgiveness? right? Why couldn't they say, "Listen, Kanye, we don't like what you're saying or whatever," you know what I mean? But why try to destroy it? You know what I mean? He's to me. Well, this is just my opinion because a lot of people see Farrakhan as hateful, and I don't see him as hateful.
They also call him an anti. What you
I
call it?
feel yes, I feel. But then again, a lot of my friends see Trump. They don't see Trump as racist. You know,
See,
so,
I don't get it. That's what I'm
right.
saying. You can
You
do it
know,
for this one, but you can't do it for this one. I
right.
just don't get it.
You know, so I get what Charlotte's saying. The whole DEF CON thing. I don't think that was meant to for physical harm on Jews. I think he was just angry. They were messing with his business. They were taking money from him, and they all happened to be Jewish. And he said, "I'm gonna go DEF CON." Like one man messes up with a woman, and the woman says, "All the men suck. Oh, I hate all men." Or one woman messes up with a guy. I hate all women. You know, screw those women. You know what I mean? We all go off on. You know, so yeah. So I mean, I get that he said some things that he shouldn't have said, but I don't think he's like some guy that's out there looking to hurt Jewish people.
No, he
But
got children. He has investment. He's not gonna put himself in that situation like
people are
that.
saying the unstable people might take his words, and just like the guy that went to the supermarket, right? That he heard that black people were trying to replace white people, so he took up his gun and decided he's going to take as many black people out as possible because he doesn't want us to take over America. So
That's
he
anti-black,
heard,
anti-black people. People going to the store, going food shopping, and you want to take their life. It's horrible.
right, but I'm saying he heard it somewhere else.
Right.
So what
He
the
was
Jews
listening. He was being influenced
You heard
online.
it from, I believe, rhetoric from people like Tulsa, Tucker Carlson, and show on. But even after that incident happened, the thing that bothers me is like people that this guy that goes into a supermarket and shoot all these people in Buffalo still don't have the hatred that Kanye West is getting for just saying something.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What about the welfare guy? What's his name? Brent Varb, stealing from a community that you know that people are suffering. You could use that money to open up a community center, a center for children that needs to get away. I don't.
And Brett Favre, he's not even on the front page of the news anymore. Like things happen so quick in America that Brett Favre is out of the news cycle right now, and he's probably not even gonna have no consequences for what he did. You know, it's gonna be swept under the rug, and life goes on. You know, so he will escape without consequences most likely for stealing those millions of dollars. But we find out, you know, America find boogeymans. You know, and usually the boogeyman usually look like us. So,
yeah,
I West until they get another boogeyman. I mean, we had a few years ago was, you know, O.J. Simpson. I mean, we're always going to have a boogeyman. You know, Mike Tyson was a boogeyman for a while. I mean, you always Bobby Brown.
And they're gonna pick them a Negro to mess with.
All right.
You know, so
yeah.
right.
So Michael Barnes, he just dropped something. He said United Nations do not acknowledge the word blacks. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, they probably think it's derogatory. African American, is that what it is? They don't consider the black label or something like that.
Oh, okay. And Charlene is asking about the guy that attacked Pelosi's husband. I guarantee that guy's a Trump supporter.
No, he is. They looked on his page and saw that he was one of those right wingers and all of that. Yeah, because the only thing he was doing was asking for where's Pelosi at. He bust that man head upside the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
You know, I think that's what the Jewish people are saying about Kanye's comments. He might inspire somebody to just go do something crazy like that.
But wait a minute. Are you serious? What about the January 6th thing? This been going on. It's all online. Y'all would shut down something black first before you would shut down some white supremacists that went up there and was trying to hurt and kill people.
Right.
This man went inside Nancy Pelosi's husband's. They went inside his house. Then she said that they don't give him security because she's not there. She's in DC. She don't worry about her family needing security. But somebody had to nerve to go in their house, crack a what's called, and then go in there and try to tie him up and bust him upside the head with a hammer in front of the cops.
He's lucky to be alive.
That's too much, y'all. That's too much.
Well, the political violence, we try to pretend that it's new and it all started on January 6th. We're having political violence in this country, forever. It just mostly was geared towards us back in the day, So now, now you got white people beating up other white people. January 6th was basically white on white crime.
Yes.
That was white people beating up white people because one group of white people were angry because one old rich white man didn't win, another old rich man won. So you got the same thing. The Civil War was basically the same thing, right? It was just white people fighting each other. They get their way in America. So we're just reliving all of this all over again, man. There's nothing new under the sun,
What's up, John McPhail? John, how you doing, brother, man? I haven't heard from you in a while. Last time I saw you post on Facebook, you're in the hospital. I hope you're doing okay, man. He's a fellow comedian from Boston. He's asking, didn't Mr. Pelosi tell the police officers he knew him and he was a friend? And is that true? I don't know. I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
No, that's not true.
We have to check that out, John. That Mr. Pelosi said he was a friend.
No, I didn't hear that, but all of this stuff again is alleged. This is what we're talking about, but it is news that her husband got busted upside the head with a hammer in his house.
Yeah. Nicole Coates checking in.
Hi, sister.
Where is she? Is she in Atlanta?
She's in Georgia.
She's in Georgia. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Nicole? Thanks for checking in. So somebody said, what? Charlene, what are you referring to? Charlene said what with an exclamation point and some question marks.
What about Nancy Pelosi's husband getting attacked in his own home?
No, she's the one to ask the question about it, but John said that Mr. Pelosi told the police officers that he knew the guy and he was a friend. That's what John is saying. So, John, I don't know where you got the information, but we're going to look that up and see if there's any truth to that. But again, to finish this off about the whole Kanye thing, I get what Sharon is saying, that what Kanye West, he's got a billion, he's got 50, 100 million followers. So for him to say that, all it takes for one or two of his followers to take him at his word, say, hey, he wants us to go DEFCON on Jews. And, I think that's what the Jewish people are afraid of.
I'm reading right here that I just Googled while we were talking that this Pelosi's did not know the attackers. This guy they went on this guy's page, on the social media page, and found him defending Hitler. And also so yeah, this guy was a nutcase, so yeah.
No, what happened is Trump and his people is out there saying that it could be it's something else. That's what is probably what's going on, because they just said now the GOP give mixed messages on the Paul Pelosi attack.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course they are, because of course, because it all comes back to January 6th. It always comes back to the Republicans, so they're putting a spin on it to try to say, no, it wasn't us. It wasn't. I heard one guy on the radio. I was tuning. I ended up on Politico, which they I guess between stations, 3 minutes, and this guy already starting. They they put this together just to Democrats' ass on the upcoming election.
Yeah, y'all really think that if alleged, y'all really think that woman will put together something to her husband to get a one up on y'all? No, that's just horrible. Okay, this man is old. He's not like he's a young guy. He's an older guy. He is actually a senior. Somebody should call the 1-800 senior.
Years old. She's 82 years old. Why would he? I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, those are the same people who think the World Trade Center was brought down by the government, so they don't hold a lot,
Exactly.
A lot of credence. All right, so we're gonna jump into. We have a few minutes left.
Is our kids too soft?
Yes. Are our kids too soft?
Yes, they are.
Let me play these videos again so we can refresh. I'm not gonna play that one's too long. The one with this guy is much shorter. Okay.
Why do I think people are so soft today? I mean, I think TV and culture makes people really soft, man. There's a lot of soft people, man. Like the gladiator days are over, man. The days where people just said what they felt and didn't feel the need to tiptoe around people and, well, I can't say this and I can't say that. I'm not saying to be rude, but you can always communicate what it is that you want to communicate in a very respectful way. But today's people are just soft, man. Kids are soft, immediate gratification. I want it now, and why don't I have it now? And I've worked hard for 6 months, and why don't I have my Lamborghini and my Rolls Royce and, and a private jet? Oh, I want that too, and why don't I have that? Well, but I've worked hard for 8 months now. I mean, dude, I've been grinding for 26 years. I've been grinding, like literally. I was selling cars when I was 18 years old. Like I was grinding every day.
People are too soft. Let me just say that kids are soft.
Yes, they are.
Feelings seem to be hurt more, and it's because people are telling them your feelings should be hurt. It's people saying they're being shamed for that. They're being body shamed. Kids are committing suicide because they're being bullied online. And I had a talk with my son when he was a teenager, like, just shut off the phone or just, turn off your, whatever it is you're on, your laptop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get the concept of being bullied on social media. I just would not go on social media.
But you got to remember, it's a whole different concept of being bullied at your school or in the street than being bullied online. And we never prepared our children for this, and this is why we must build a self-esteem with our children and let them know that none of these people know you. None of them pay your bills. None of them take care of you. So what they say don't affect you. And we also got to tell our young girls, do not be taking pictures and sharing and stuff, because guys would turn around and use that against you. Now as a law, you can't, I think it's called revenge porn. You can't do that. So it's just that we have to prepare our children, that this internet is it's like the streets. You got to be careful, and if, like you said, if you can't handle it, shut it off, turn it off, or you have to shut it off for your children.
Yeah. Kev was saying that you and a friend were talking about bullying and kids being bullied online, and because I remember growing up, it wasn't even called bullying, and I mean, it was just called I don't know what you guys call it here.
Here we call it joning.
Joning.
Yeah, ranking on each other.
That's all we did in the school bus was joan on each other. Hey, you got big feet, or my nickname in school was
right.
I had big feet, skinny kid with skinny legs, big ass feet. Foots. Every time I got on the bus, foots. So
what?
My buddy Bruce was calling him big ears. He had these big ears. So everybody got picked on. On my school bus, we picked on this one skinny girl, man, who was every joning line you can think of. We used to call her, nobody, went home and killed themselves, came back to the school for shotgun and shot everybody up,
Right.
What happened in my day, but the internet, now it turned these minds into, so these kids now, you say something about their lips or their hair or whatever, and go home and take a bottle of pills and kill themselves. I'm not making light of that. I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah, or they're being raised by the internet. You know, the people are now, they don't have interaction with their children. They're putting the phone right in front of their face. Or they putting the laptop in front of their face and not having no type of connection. I know when I was growing up by 11, 12, we was walking around the corner going to wash our clothes. These children don't know how to wash their clothes today. They don't know how to have no chores. And people don't understand chores is a main thing in a family. That builds character with children. We have to give them chores. I know my mother gave us chores. They don't cook today. This is a microwave era. That's what we're in. Everything is quick. A microwave era.
Right. That is facts. That is true. Yeah.
I mean, you think it all started when they spankings all of a sudden kids were allowed to call the police if they got spanked. Remember?
I think that has something to do with it. I think it has something to do with it. You know, I really do. I think that started it when parents weren't allowed to be, you know, to discipline kids with
discipline your children
with a whooping. You know, I think that was the beginning of the downfall. You know, but then again, experts say beating your kids didn't work either, because you beat your kids, still grew up, you know, to be, you know, 22, right?
Yeah, Nicole says no men in the house to show tough love. That you know, you need both parents in the house, because I can tell you, I learned both from my mom and my dad. I benefited from having both parents in the house. So I know a lot of single women say I don't need a man, and men might say I don't need a woman to raise my kids, but you do. You might not think you do, but you do.
Yeah, I think that every person, human being, need both. You know, but then sometimes people are unavailable mentally and physically, you know, unavailable for their children, you know, or we have to be careful on who we choose to mate with and have children with, because sometimes we have those red flags that they was unavailable then, but we think that, oh, if we have a baby or we do this, we can be able to keep him and make him available. No, it's not like that. You know, so we definitely have to think about the children and communicate with them.
Yeah, and I give an example. I remember when I was like 3 or 4. I remember this clearly. I remember I was playing with like a little Matchbox car, and I was pushing it on the floor, and I had my face on the floor. I was trying to look to see underneath the car to see what's making the wheels move. You know, because I was fascinated. How is it moving? What's making it move? My
Right.
mom came in and saw me and said, "Get out off the floor. Get your face off the floor. The floor is dirty." And she just started going off. Get up. And my dad was like, "Leave him. He's
Right.
trying to see, you know, what's going on underneath this car."
And that's a learning process. Yeah, that's a difference, because men are more, they're not emotional like women. They just going to go to it. Leave them alone. Let them go. Let them finish,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, because he knew what I was doing. I was trying to see what's going on. But my mom was like, "The floor is dirty. Get your face off the floor."
And something.
Yes. I want to bring this up.
Devil Beats.
I want to push back a little bit on that, because I think I don't know. I mean, good, yeah, if you have a mother and father, I guess that can be a blessing in some situations, I guess, but it's not necessarily the answer, you know, because there's lots of single parents raised, you know, good, successful kids. Kids that grew up with raised by their grandmother, you know, that went on to be successful, you know, and
Right.
and as Dick Gregory once said, because somebody brought this up to Dick Gregory about two-parent home, and Dick Gregory's like, well, Hitler had both his parents,
Yeah,
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer had both his parents, and Ted Bundy was raised with his mother and father, and Dick Gregory, that's, you know, of bad people that were raised with mother and father in the house. And he had a whole list, you know. So I'm just saying that's not 100%.
No, it's not. But
you know, to us growing up to be
No,
successful.
we understand it, but then, like I said again, you got to make sure you pick the right partner, the right mate, because you have a lot of people that will stay in relationships because it is either it's cheaper to keep them or they don't want to be by themselves. And then what happened? Their children, have to deal with the abuse, or they will start to mimic that. And something that you said, with the abuse, there's a difference between discipline and abuse, with our children. When you was talking about the beatings and stuff like that, it's a difference because we have to discipline our children, because if we don't discipline our children, the cops will kill them. We have to tell them what they're supposed to do, but we don't abuse them. You have people out there that are abusing their children and thinking that that's okay. No, it's not okay. I'm against abuse of children. But yes, we have to tell our children and discipline our children not to do certain things, because if you don't, the cops will do it, and you will be a product of theirs now.
Right.
Yeah, well, true, but yeah, I hear what you're saying, Kev. But I think all in all I mean, it's better to have, what I mean, two parents. But like you said,
Positive
yeah,
parents.
yeah. I mean, there are exceptions
Functional.
to every rule, like you just mentioned, Jeffrey Dahmer. What I mean, all the horrible people that have had two parents. I think it's still better to have.
Their families was dysfunctional because they didn't even know that they was raising little killers.
Right, because you could have two bad parents. You know what I mean? I'd rather have one good parent than two horrible parents.
Yeah, but I also want a fighting parent that's going to get out that situation and not be abused or stay there.
Yeah.
So fight for your children, because they are your future. Because if you don't take care of them when you get old, they're not going to take care of you.
That is absolutely true. And with that said, Tiffany, we're going to wrap it up. And like we always do, I'm going to ask you guys anything you want to share or you learn on tonight's show. Tiffany?
Oh. Everything is not what it seems, and, I tell people to please think deeper, look deeper into things. Don't just look over what they want you to see. You have to dig a little deeper, because there's always a message in something. And we should stand with each other. We're not against, I'm not, I know the panel that I'm with, we're not against any other culture, any background. We want to have the conversation. We want to talk. And again, all of this is alleged. And if we feel like we insulted or disrespected anybody, this wasn't what we was doing. We was just having the conversation, because it needs to be had, So again, thank you all for coming in. Like, subscribe. If you have any questions or you want to talk to us or tell us a story, you can go to our email, theblacktherapieshow@gmail.com. We welcome you all. We want to have the conversation. Thank you so much for coming out.
Great. Devil Beats, I hope I'm saying that correctly. He said, iPads, parents resort to giving kids phones and tablets instead of cultivating morals. That is absolutely true.
It's true.
I've seen 3 and 4-year-olds with iPads. You know what I mean? And it keeps the kids busy for a long time, but
it also makes them mentally lazy.
Yes.
I agree.
Come on, we didn't have this. Our parents told us we had to go and get a book, or we had to draw, or we had to do something.
Anymore? Do kids go to the library anymore?
Yes, the library and everything. Like, we had activities. This is why our children are lazy. Also, they don't walk nowhere. I wanted to walk up the block to go to the store. My nephews didn't want to walk. It's too far. Let's call a cab. We just go in 2 blocks.
I ride around.
Lazy.
Outside on a beautiful day. Kids. It's great.
Yeah. Right.
Brother, we couldn't keep us in the house. We were young men. We were just out in the woods or wherever, just on the basketball.
You have to yell out the window to get
yes, enjoying life.
Come in, but yeah, they couldn't keep us out in the house. They kids out and can't get them out the house. They're in the house on the computer. It's crazy.
Any parting words, Kev, that you want to share with the audience, or anything you learned that you want to mention, or?
Oh man, it's a good show. Thanks for bringing all this stuff. As far as Kanye West, I just think I'll keep my opinions to myself.
You know I'm looking at you, Kev. Don't make me text you after the show.
I see him say, "Hey, I apologize to all the African Americans that I offended," and I just need to hear plain, no, just plain, just a plain,
Yeah. I mean, if you can apologize to one group, you can apologize to every group, to all the groups.
Yeah, exactly. And I also like to see some of the corporations in their statements, because a lot of these corporations, real quickly, are saying, "Hey, we no longer associate with Kanye West because of his anti-Semitism comments," and they'll go on and say, "But they never mentioned the blacks. None of them." And you go get all of the
that right there,
companies, all the companies that have parted ways with Kanye West, and read their statements. Not one statement on none of these people. And do research on this, so you know I'm telling the truth. Nowhere, none of these statements do they mention African Americans or blacks being assaulted. I mean, being offended by them, and that's why they,
Because, like I said, they can look and they can see. We have, like you said,
let that sink in, everybody.
Yeah.
Until next week.
We have power, we just don't use it, and it's partially our fault. But I like to end it by saying, I really don't think Kanye meant to hurt or kill anyone. But if you look at the history of Black people in America, there's never a time where we are getting ourselves into groups to go hurt anybody.
Right.
True.
You can't point to me at any time in history where, I don't think you can count the drive-bys, right? Where a group of they're blacks go to hurt blacks, but to get blacks to go hurt a different group, you can't. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
So for people to think that all of a sudden, Kanye or any other black person is going to start hurting Jews is just not true. And
his platform is
it's been proven for decades, right? We get shot up, and we forgive. We keep forgiving. We're just a forgiving people. I don't know if that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Some people think we're going to get our rewards when the heavens opened up. I don't know when you know what I mean?
I'm going to get my award when I get to heaven.
I don't know when
nobody forgives us, man. Nobody forgives us. Nobody.
No. You know what I mean? Like, we keep forgiving. We are the forgiving tree. We just keep forgiving, and anyway, so that's my take on it. I don't think Kanye meant anything. All the DEFCON 3 is just like me saying I'm gonna go nuclear on such and such a person. You know what I mean? It's just a figure of speech. But then again, this is America, and we are very sensitive and very touchy here. And I have become more sensitive. I swear, when I go back to Barbados, my friends go, "What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You used to be so happy, go lucky, and you know what I mean? Now I'm just like everything's got a microscope on it." Like,
you got your African American eyes done.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank everyone.
Welcome to my country call.
Welcome.
Thank you to everyone for watching the show. Thank you to the TikTokers. Thank you to the people on YouTube and Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, I'm going to get rid of you pretty soon because you're annoying me. Twitch, Twitter. Thank you, Mr. Elon. Elon is already in charge, right? Mr. Musk?
$44 billion for Twitter.
Billion. All right. So thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about the show. We're trying to build a family here.
On Sunday at 7.
Sundays at 7 p.m. Like I said, the show is about helping the Black community move forward. If you work, or even, and then you don't have to be Black. John's not Black, you know what I mean? She chimes in, but there's no negativity on the show. You're not calling any people names. We're just sharing our experiences and trying to help each other. And that's what we're trying to do here. So thank you guys very much. And we're going to take you out with Kevin's song, because Kevin made me get the song. Kevin, My original song was too corny.
And now we got a video gonna come up in 2023. We're doing a video on this song.
Yes, we're gonna do a video to this song. So I had to go street on Kevin. I had to get some street cred.
Oh, man. Old porn music that you had from the 80s, man, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
80s porn and John Holmes special.
I know. Charlene, you're welcome. Charlene, my Jewish friend, is saying thank you. You're welcome.
Hey, Charlene, thank you.
And I'm just kidding when I say my Jewish friend. Please don't think that I'm.
Look at my African American friend.
Look at my African American friend.
I have one.
Yeah, that was Trump.
I had a Jewish friend host my shows this weekend in DC.
Yeah,
great job. And he was the only white guy that hosted, and all the other comedians on the show were
really?
African Americans, and the host was a Jewish guy that I brought in to host the show. So yeah, man.
But the fun, you know what? When I'm with all my friends, whether they're Jewish, I'm not thinking, "Hey, man, I'm with my Jewish friend."
Exactly.
I'm just with my friends.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, but some of us do be like, "Oh, I got a Jewish friend." What? I got a Jewish friend. See, everybody's different on how they handle and deal.
Yeah.
You know.
I never think like that though. Like
because you're a blender, you can blend right in.
Yeah. I just brought it up because we're doing this show on the subject. When I called Jonathan and said, "Hey, come down and host the shows again," I didn't really even.
Yeah.
You didn't think like that, right?
Yeah.
Funny cat, man. I want to host the shows. Good at it. So yeah, crazy. I didn't even think. Oh, you're Jewish. Want you on the show with other black?
No, but you have a lot of friends. You have a lot of Jewish friends. I think I only probably have 1 or 2 Jew friends. I think.
I mean,
and it's not even that. They like 1 in a possible.
Well, you can't be in comedy and not have Jewish friends. That's
what I'm saying. I don't have a lot of them.
my agent, booking agent, or I mean, 90% of them is Jewish.
Yeah.
I don't have 400 million like Kanye West. I gotta watch my mouth when this. I ain't saying nothing. I love all y'all.
All right, folks. Thank you guys so much. So check us out. We'll be here next Sunday with another hot topic, the Black Therapy Show.
We'll be here.
With the knowledge you gain, break away from the chains. We helping you grow the Black Therapy Show. You be in a safe space, dealing with the black trauma. We unpacking and inspecting all our baggage and drama. Cause we gotta unite, no more killing each other. It's time to see a new future for my sisters and brothers. You know, with Kevin, Carl, and Tiffany, you'll have an epiphany. We'll give you everything you need to handle the enemy. We be giving you empathy, we gon' challenge you mentally. The right conversation so you grow exponentially. We built your penitentiary, we built all the schools. Gave us brainwash education, just making us fools. Hatred was what we got in exchange for love. No more manipulation from our God above. It's Carl, Kevin, and Tiffany. Now welcome to the Black Therapy Show. Let's go.